So in this video, I want to discuss this one simple topic that I think will radically transform your awareness, your consciousness in a positive way. I think it will rewire your brain to experience greater clarity, to be more confident, to experience more success, however that looks for you, whether that's more intimate relationships, experiencing more love, increasing your revenue in your business, expanding your network, or establishing some sort of a deeper connection to a power greater than yourself. Because that is really the crux of this episode. It is that everything we experience, every thought that we have, every emotion that arises, every interaction and the way we perceive those interactions and the lessons we take from them, the patterns, let's say, that are developed as a result of these interactions we have over time, all of that is rooted in love. Because the underlying force of the universe, okay, you can call it God, source, infinite intelligence, whatever name you want to ascribe to that, it's love. So love is another name for that. So all is love. Because life is working on your behalf. It wants to see your greatest good come to fruition. Your greatest good as well as the greatest good for all. And no, those are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are necessary to bringing about your highest good as well. Because the highest good for yourself is also the highest good for all. And all is love. So when you adopt this frame of thinking, okay, you can come up against experiences where, let's say, there's fear involved, maybe elements of shame, guilt, all of these forceful emotions. If you look into David Hawkins' work of Power versus Force, right, we have the levels of consciousness, and at the bottom we have the forceful emotions of shame, guilt, fear, anger, and then we get up to pride. Those are all manifestations of an experience that you once had, or a collection of experiences that you've had that have led to this way of being, okay, this pattern that you're used to living by, okay, that is now, because you're at a place where you want to change that, you want to show up differently, you want to show up more loving, you want to show up more confident, okay, you want to ask for more money in your work. Okay, all of those experiences and those feelings up to this point have led you to now realizing how to shift. Okay, this reminds me of the quote by the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius that what stands in the way becomes the way. The impediment to action advances action. So you can think about these emotions that you're having, these thinking, these thought patterns that you're having, where you're feeling worried about how you're going to increase your income, where your next paycheck's going to come from. You're afraid of what someone might say to you when you express your true feelings to them, when you open up to them. Okay, those are all teaching you now the ideal way of being and how do you want to show up. Because when you're having these emotions, let's say, that are suboptimal, in the sense that when you think about it or when you envision it, it's not how you want to show up on a regular day-to-day basis. They are ideal in that they are teaching you and showing you how to shift. They are teaching you how to shift. What you don't want inherently points to what you do want. Now, you can't get entirely what you do want out of what you don't want, because if you keep focusing on what you don't want, then you just create more of what you don't want. So the trick is to have to use what you don't want to then create and formulate a vision for what you do want, and then to maintain that vision through affirmation, through auto-suggestion, through crafting phrases and incantations that help you to recenter to this ideal way of being. Because inevitably in life, when we're going to change our external conditions, we're going to come up against some resistance. We're going to come up against challenge. Because everything we're experiencing in this moment is a reflection of who we've been up to this point, for better or for worse. So you're going to come up against resistance, and that resistance is the way. And what I mean by that, really, to bring it back to this concept that all is love, when you see that obstacle, and you see how it is teaching you to come back to love, to come back to self-acceptance, to come back to confidence, to come back to trusting in yourself and your vision, you can understand all of these suboptimal experiences, these suboptimal thinking patterns, as being rooted in love. Because the underlying force of the universe is love, and life is working for your highest good and for the highest good of all. So take that simple affirmation with you into this day, simply remembering that all is love. And when you come up against those feelings of doubt or uncertainty, feeling shameful of something, meet that when you may have met that in the past with more resistance, right? What you resist persists. When maybe you've met that, tried to stuff it down or put it away or distract yourself by getting on social media or drinking or smoking pot or going out and having casual sex. Instead, meet that with grace. Meet that with this affirmation that all is love, and it is teaching you now to step into that higher version of yourself, and that life is working in your favor. Because remember, everything you've experienced up to this point is a result of who you've been. And so likewise, everything that you will become is a result of who you are being now. So we make that shift now. We make that real now for ourselves. Right? This is the law of assumption. You hear this law, the law of assumption, popularized by Neville Goddard, great American mystic in the mid-20th century, who kind of understood the biblical teachings and the story of Christ as a telling and an unfolding of Christ consciousness, essentially, and Christ as the symbol and the arbiter of union, divine union between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, the infinite, all-powerful, all-knowing subconscious mind that's connected to everyone and everything. And so this law of assumption basically states that when you can assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled now, realize that now that is what brings it into being, because again, you only become that which you are. Everything you've experienced up to this point is a result of that which you have been, for better or for worse. Okay? Likewise, everything that you will experience, that you will become, is a result of who you are being now. And so that largely comes with having a vision for who you will be. So you can take what you don't want right now. Maybe you're in a place where you're feeling worried or doubtful or angry. You're in a place where you're feeling off-center. Allow that to bring you back to this truth, this simple truth that all is love. All is love. And the universe is working for your highest good. You have a desire. You have a knowing of where you want to go next. You have that vision in you now. And life wants that for you. Otherwise, it wouldn't have given you that desire. God wants that for you. So you can take a moment, you can breathe. I hope you found this video to be helpful and to serve you in your day. Make sure to comment any questions or any reflections you've had in this video, and hit that subscribe button. And stay tuned for more to come. I'm so blessed to have you here on this journey, on this path. If you want to apply to work with me, there's a link in the description. There's also a link in the description to my free holistic lifestyle guide, as well as my free subconscious reprogramming masterclass. Until next time, let's rise.